According to Google, a furry is an enthusiast for animal characters with human characteristics. In particular, a person who dresses up in a costume as such a character or uses one as an avatar online. According to furscience.com, yes, that's a real website, there are approximately 2 million furries that exist worldwide. Now, let's say, hypothetically of course, if there was a global zombie apocalypse and you were a furry, what would you do? Maybe you'd try to survive, which you wouldn't, or maybe you'd put on the fursuit one last time and go out into the world, knowing that your fate was already sealed. Well, that's what I believe happened in Plants vs. Zombies, because you'd be surprised at how many furries are actually in these games. You'd also be surprised at how many furries these games have created. But that's neither here nor there. As you know, Plants vs. Zombies sees you battle these adequately dressed ghouls using what I can only assume are radiation poison plants, because this is not natural. But if I am to determine every furry that appears in these games, we need to set some regulations. As Google defined, a furry is a person who dresses up in a costume as an animal with human characteristics. For example, if one were to wear, I don't know, cat ears to a Halloween party, as Google defined, that would make that person not a furry. So, I don't see how, Noah, that me wearing cat ears makes me a furry. But that's neither here nor there, because I'm here to spread awareness of the many zombies in these games that strut their stuff proudly. I feel it's best we start where life itself started, where everything came into being all at once. Plants vs. Zombies 1. Now, unfortunately, and deeply saddening, there are no furries in the original game. Now before you start commenting, "Oh daddy, any percent, what about the Yeti zombie?" Shut up! Because if you had any knowledge about this franchise at all, you would know that Yeti zombie is a robot, so he doesn't count. Checkmate! Get off this channel right now, leave, dislike the video, and leave this channel right now if you think that Yeti zombie is a furry. But not all hope is lost, men with gentle hands. Because in the Chinese spin-off of PvZ, there's not one, but 2 furries. Crab Imp and Tortoise Zombie. Add those to the patented furry counter please. Ring 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 ring. Oh, I seem to be getting a call. What's that? In another Chinese spin-off, there's another furry named Rabbit Imp? Not to be confused with the multimedia empire, the Rabbits? Well, let's add him to the list. I never knew China had such a big furry population. Now moving back to American soil, in the flawless sequel to Plants vs. Zombies, Plants vs. Zombies 2, this game raises many different questions about the technicalities of furryism, which is a word that actually exists and I never would have thought I would have to say in my entire life. Is someone covered in chickens a furry? What about someone in a giant robot that looks like an animal? Are they a furry? Well, for the purposes of this video, a furry has to be wearing something skin tight, because I like them skin tight. I encountered 6 furries in PvZ2, but I might be wrong because I may or may not have flunked out of elementary school. Now, this first one may create a little bit of controversy, but that's why they call me the knockoff dream. Don't even think about actually calling me that. In my opinion, Tomb Raider is pretty furry-like. I mean, he literally licks the bones, and he's based off an Egyptian god that looks like this. Do I have to say anything else? I also have Mummy Imp, Yeti Imp, because this one isn't a beep boop robot, Dragon Imp, Dragon D's nut, as well as Octo Zombie, who may not be traditionally classified as a furry, but he's definitely using those octopi in a way that's deeply disturbing. Now that that image is in your head, I want you to start a debate in the comments below about the actual plural of octopus. And I want to see some good debates, like some high school level debates in the comments, okay? I would include Mermaid Imp, but according to one of the most accurate and trustworthy websites in the entire internet, which I can't pronounce, mermaids are neither human nor animal, and that's just deep sea garg's regular skin. There's also Roman Imp, Hippity Hot Garg, Springening Imp, and while regular Chicken Wrangler doesn't count, Turkey Wrangler is definitely wearing a fursuit. Also, I was debating to myself whether ancient furries count, and I came up with the rule that if it's not bone and if it has fur, then might as well. So I also have Sloth Garg and Hunter Zombie. And that's it. There isn't really anything that interesting about PVZ2 China. Well, I guess there's Chief Keef Ice Zombie and Egg Pusher Imp. Am I the only one who just realized how many imps are on this list? I also forgot to mention that there's the elite version of Chief Keef Zombie and Rocket Imp. And in another random Chinese spinoff that no one really cares about and forgets about 5 seconds later, there's Rabbit Zombie. This is the hottest one yet. I already know that after I say what I'm about to say, 99% of you are gonna unsubscribe. Dr. Chester isn't a furry. He's still insanely attractive, don't get me wrong, but if you call him a furry, you're just as bad as Noah. Also, shout out to Little Drake, Shrimp, and Paleontologist, even though I don't consider them fully furries. And while Super Brains' outfits do get pretty tight, unfortunately there's no animal. I could stare at that all day. Anyway, fun fact, every Yeti-themed zombie, except for Sasquatch Imp, is a robot, but Sasquatch Imp isn't even confirmed to be a robot or not, and I'm too lazy to look it up. So, I'm just gonna put him on the list, but I don't know, man, maybe he is a robot, maybe I'm just a liar, maybe I'm a hypocrite, okay? Maybe I am, but what are you gonna do about it? You gonna debate me about this? Who just messaged me on Discord? In Plants vs. Zombies All-Stars, a game that I made a totally spectacular video on, there's 2 turtles. Why did I read that turtles? What am I doing? There's 2 furries, Imp Wolf and Wolf Zombie. Real creative names there, guys. Like, add them to the counter. Oh, you probably forgot about the counter, didn't you? Well, I never forget, except for my ABCs sometimes. In BFN, there's Insecto Brains and Super Scarab, which you love to see the spandex getting some representation, as well as Unicorn Hero, which I had to include, and Team Wolfie Forever. Now, surprisingly, while there's a bunch of animal-themed zombies, there's barely any actual furries in PvZ Heroes. Some repeats are Octo Zombie, Hippity Hot Gargantua, Tomb Raiser, as well as Team Mascot. Wait, that's it? Only that specific amount that I totally know? This game has like over 100 zombies. Are furries going extinct? Not even PvZ3 has that many, and PvZ3 has the most random zombies imaginable. It only has Shark Costume Zombie and Rainbow Bass Imp. And that's it? We really end the list on Rainbow Bass Imp? That's every game. That's every furry. That's the end of the video. But wait, because we have to tally up these ghouls in the patented furry counter. Here's all the nerdy stats for the nerds on this delicious looking pie. Now what? You expect me to say goodbye? To beg you to like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter? Because over here at AnyPercent96, we don't do that type of stuff. Now, if I missed any zombies that were furries, that's because I didn't. They just didn't fit into my criteria. So don't comment about it, unless you want me sleeping underneath your bed tonight. Ironic. The one talking about furries not being robots was a robot.